Good afternoon to the LGBTQ Real Estate Podcast, connecting LGBTQ homebuyers, sellers, and real estate pros since 2007. My name is Jeff Berger. I'm the host of the program. And today we have with us Tim Belko, a realtor in Southern New Jersey. Welcome to the show, Tim.
Hey, Jeff. Thank you all for having me. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in.
Great. Yeah, so the format, just for the viewers, is 15 minutes. We keep everything brief. We know people's attention spans are pretty short these days. You may have a notification popping up on your phone, an important email. But the purpose of the podcast and our mission is to bring information to someone who may be looking to move to New Jersey, Southern New Jersey, specifically where Tim serves. And, you may learn a little bit about Southern New Jersey, buying a home. Tim's a well-respected professional, well-accomplished realtor in his area. And that's what this is all about, connecting you to real estate professionals. So let's jump into it, okay? We've got 15 minutes. Tim, share with us a little bit about yourself, both personally, professionally, what's ever on your mind.
Okay, I'll go through both of those then. I grew up here in South Jersey in Gloucester County. I've lived here for about 30 years. For about 8 years, I lived in Philadelphia, where I went to Temple University, and my degrees are in economics and finance. My family is all throughout New Jersey, primarily Southern. My partner's family is also here in Southern New Jersey. So we know the area well. Professionally, I run a team called the Results Group. It was started by my uncle, Brian Belko, over 35 years ago. And I've taken it over as he's taken a step back. We have 10 agents on our team. We annually sell over 120 homes. We are in the top 100 of over 64,000 Berkshire Hathaway agents for 9 years or so. We are in the top 1% of realtors nationwide. One of the things, though, I'm most proud of is 2019 and 2021, Google HomeSnap awarded me the Client Excellence in Client Service Award. People might say, what happened in 2020? There was COVID. They didn't give it out. So I always tell clients, production's great, but if you give poor client and customer service, it's really not helpful to anyone. So while we do, as a team, have a lot of awards for production, we also take pride in providing our client services. I believe our main mission is really to be trusted advisors to our clients, to give you the good, the bad, so that you can make good, informed decisions that work best for you. The areas we serve are, if you're looking in South Jersey, Gloucester, Camden, Burlington, Cumberland, Salem, Atlantic, and Ocean counties. And we serve those areas very knowledgeably and for over 30 years.
Wow.
Yep. A little more personally about myself. Obviously, like I said, I've lived in South Jersey my entire life. I like to stay active, whether it's, I've been in an LGBTQ plus athletic league called the CBLSL, which is a softball league this is my 20th year. I was a member of Stonewall, which is a large national organization they do a lot more sports now, right in Philadelphia, because we're probably about 15 minutes from there where I'm sitting right now.
Nice.
Then I believe in just staying active in everything and spending time with family, my partner, our dog.
Great. It sounds like a nice balanced lifestyle. You're helping the community buy and sell homes. You're part of the community, which is really nice.
Yes, absolutely. I believe in staying involved, wherever I can, to not only get, my name out there and everything, but, to network and to reach people as well.
Amazing. Well, congratulations on your success. Working with family can be trying sometimes. You seem to have made a great success out of it. So that's amazing.
Yeah, I appreciate that. My family's always been extremely supportive.
Great. So I know you have many LGBTQ clients. What is it about working with the LGBTQ community that you enjoy so much?
Yeah, I think what I enjoy so much is that, they appreciate having someone that can relate to them and is able to advise them on you know, similar places of interest. You know, if they have specific needs, you know, I'm able to relate to them, as are the people on my team, so that we can give them not only honest opinions, but coming from a place of knowledge too, and the experience that we have in, you know, I don't want to say directing because that's not the correct term, but advising them the best way so that they can actually make good informed decisions that work for them.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I know you're not the MC at your local drag bingo. You're busy selling real estate, but what is it about you that the LGBTQ community enjoys working with so much? I know you're a nice guy and everything, but you seem very personable. They would enjoy working with you, right?
You know, I try and keep things personable. You know, I never come through with the sales approach. You know,
Mhm.
whenever I always joke with clients that when I turn salesy, it's more of a joke. You know, because I do believe in providing everyone with as much information as possible so they can make informed decisions that best work for them. You know, when we're working with a home buyer, our job isn't really to sell you that house. It's to give you the information so that you can decide if that's the right house for you. Or if not, you move on to the other one. But also, you know, I think they enjoy working with me and my team because again, you know, with the experience we have and the knowledge of the areas, when they have questions about, well, you know, what's around here for me to do? You know, if I want to get into Philadelphia quickly, what's the best options for me? If I have to commute to New York City, you know, or Washington, D.C., you know, we can give them that information, um, you know, very simply and obviously always keeping their best interests in mind.
Great, great. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. I know you're a really accomplished realtor, so I think you have a philosophy, just keep it simple, keep it straightforward, and you get the job done for your clients. That's awesome.
Yeah,
So
it
I know you love living in your community in southern New Jersey, born and raised there. Share with us, in the audience who, someone watching this, maybe seeing this video next week, next year, even 2 or 3 years from now. Can you share with us a little bit about your community that you love so much? I know there's a lot of arts, there may be concerts, theater, the proximity to Philadelphia, like you said, you have Atlantic City, some people enjoy that. Um, there's coffee shops, restaurants, wine bars, maybe a little bit about the job market, all in a nutshell. Tell us about why you love living in your community.
yeah, you know, and I think it's tough when you say community because, you know, we cover such a large area in South Jersey. I don't want to give
Mhm.
people the impression that it's just one area. You know, there's a lot of areas in South Jersey that depending on what someone's looking for might better fit their needs. A lot of people have moved into the Collingswood, Haddon Township, Haddonfield area, which has vibrant downtowns, a lot of businesses, smaller shops, and there's the Patco, which is the train into Philadelphia in 15, 20 minutes that runs 24 hours. A lot of people have gravitated there because of that small town vibe. Um,
Hmm.
the caveat to that is the values there have gone up exponentially over the last 10 years. You know, over my
Yes.
18 years in the business, you know, Collingswood didn't always have that big downtown. They built it up and you know, a lot of people have moved into there because of the proximity to the city and that small town vibe. On the other hand, you've got towns like Mullica Hill and Swedesboro that also have really beautiful downtowns, but are a little bit more rural. So you know you can get a home for 450 to $700,000 on an acre, 2 acres, 3 acres,
Wow.
whereas in Collingswood or Haddonfield you're only going to get maybe a quarter of an acre. And then
Mm.
you've got kind of towns in the middle that you know are can be more affordable options, but are still great options depending on what you need. You know, maybe you're not right next to the train and walking distance like Collingswood, but if you're in Belmar or Mount Ephraim or Runnymede, you can still drive into Philly in 20 minutes or drive to the train in 10 minutes. You know, so there's a lot of convenience in South Jersey, depending on where you are and what your needs are. And, you know, all the while you're still, you know, 15 to 30 minutes from Philadelphia, you know, maybe an hour from, you know, Atlantic City and the casinos and the boardwalks and Wildwood, you know, and you've also got quick routes to get up to New York if you like to do that. So I think the nice thing about the communities that we have here is that depending on your needs, there's there's going to be options for you, whether it's you want to get to the city quick or you want some land and
Yes,
everything in between.
very nice. Well, you touched on Wildwood. You brought up some memories. I grew up in New York, and my stepdad used to live in New Jersey. He
Okay.
used to have a home in Wildwood, and we used to go down there. This was in the late 80s, and it was changed very much since then. But the Jersey Shore, I mean, there's so much to do, especially during the summer, right?
Oh, absolutely. Depending on what you're looking for, there's plenty to do. So we're in Brigantine a lot because I have a property down there. My partner and I we rent it out mostly in the summer, but
Very nice.
we go down there. Brigantine's great, but there's no boardwalk, so it's more of a chill beach town vibe. But you can get into Atlantic City in a 7-minute Uber ride.
Hmm. Yep.
Atlantic City obviously has the casinos and nightlife that everyone knows about, and then you get down into Wildwood that has more of that uh, not an old school vibe, but if you get there, especially if you haven't been there in a while, they've really gone with that nostalgic effect, and they've got a great boardwalk, but they don't have the casinos and that kind of nightlife. So there's
Hmm.
there's a lot of options down at the shore points, even if you're just visiting.
Yeah, very nice. And that's very accessible during the summertime to all of your area, right?
Oh, absolutely. So I mean, I'm on the Delaware River almost, close to Philadelphia is where I live in a small town called Westville. And
Hmm.
for me to drive across to Atlantic City takes me about an hour and 10 minutes. Which really isn't bad at all. So I
No.
mean, and that's why my team, we cover everywhere from the Delaware River on the Jersey side to basically the ocean. Because we've got that footprint and that knowledge, and we've expanded over the years. But yeah, a lot of people love to get down to the shore, even if just for a day getaway.
Very nice. Yeah, it's a beautiful area, South Jersey. It's very rustic. It's just a pretty, so much green space. It's just wide open. It's like kind of countryside. Um, yeah, I don't know how to describe it, but it's really nice.
It
Really,
really
really
is,
nice.
and that's why when we talk about communities, there's so many down here that offer so many different things depending on what someone's needs are, what their price point is, what type of schools, there's a lot of school ratings that are out there for people to look into as well. So there's a lot that South Jersey offers with still being in close proximity to a lot of things to do.
Yeah, yeah, there sure are. There sure are. Very, very nice. So, our next question, tell us a little bit about the housing stock. Not necessarily what's for sale now, because someone may be watching this 3 months from now, and, we're looking to transcend time here. But I guess you deal with a little bit of everything. There's mostly single family homes. There's also townhomes, condos. I guess you deal with a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and again, that goes back to, having so many different communities in a relatively small geographic area. The
Hmm.
housing stock is very diverse. If you can get a lot of single family homes, depending on the size, you can get something for 1,000 to 2,000 square feet. But maybe if you want a bigger home, you've got options there as well. Some of the communities like Mullica Hill and Swedesboro that I mentioned earlier, they were really built up a lot over the last, say, 20 to 30 years. So this is 2023. So just in case someone's watching it a year from now, it
Yeah,
was heavily built up in the early 2000s, late 90s. So you get a lot of the 3 to 4,000 square foot homes, but they're still building a lot of new construction there now because that's where you'll go if you want, say, an acre or an acre and a half. There's some communities that a lot of the homes were built in like the 60s or 70s. So you might get some of that cool mid-century modern vibe in some of the houses, some of the split levels, bi-levels. But there's really a lot of options. Specifically in like the Collingswood, Haddonfield area, you get some of the older homes with some of that older charm, where you might get the high baseboard or the bullnose trim, and there's a lot of really cool features depending on what it is that you want aesthetically in a house.
nice.
Mhm.
Nice. So, we are LGBTQ centric on this show naturally. That is our audience. So, what is it do you think LGBTQ individuals and families should know about South Jersey that are moving there? I know there's a lot of resources. There's Equality Florida. Um, you were saying Stonewall before. There's a lot of organizations and support groups. But what else should they know? The area is pretty welcoming. It's very inviting, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I've always found it extremely welcoming. You've got, Collingswood and Haddon Township, which are well known in the LGBTQ community. Um, but I mean, Haddon Township, they hosted their first Pride Parade. I think it was 3 years ago at this point, 2 or 3 years ago. And it was so unexpectedly well attended. They didn't expect so many people that this past year when they had it, they had to expand considerably. And
That's great.
they what the town put on, and the number of people and families even from outside of Haddon Township that attended was really remarkable, and it was a great show of support for the community. But even
Awesome.
outside of those well known towns, yeah, there's a lot of support for the community. It's I see our flags flying in many places that I didn't expect, but it's really an overall great area.
That's great to know. That's always a warm feeling, when you see those rainbow flags somewhere. It's just a welcoming sign.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said earlier, there are a lot of whether it's athletic organizations that you want to be a part of to make friends, or different other groups that you like to attend. There's, especially with the proximity to large cities and everything too. It's a great space to move into, and especially if you're looking to grow your network of friends.
Great, great. So we're here at our last question. When you're not selling real estate, what is it you like to do?
Well, I like spending time with my family, my partner Mike. We have a dog Jackson. Love spending time with all them. Outside of that, I play in a couple softball leagues, including the CBLSL, which is the City of Brotherly Love Softball League, which is part of a nationwide organization called NAGA. Which has been a great basis for me to build friends over the last 20 years. So I've been heavily involved in that. I like staying active. With I started taking up Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, just
Oh,
for
really?
something new to do. Um,
Awesome. Very cool.
so just staying active, and family and friends quality time.
Awesome. Do you study with the Gracie family and that technique?
Yes, yes. So
Yeah, I know that's
I'm with McHugh Jiu Jitsu, and they trace their tree through the Gracie family. Yes.
great.
Very
Great.
good
Yeah.
question. Most people don't know that.
Yeah, eu falo português, mais ou menos. I like Brazil, and I speak a little Portuguese. I like the culture. Very warm people. I live here in South Florida, and there's a lot of Brazilian people, and I love the food. The culture's nice, and yeah, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Um, and I love Brazilian coffee.
I'm
They
gonna
call
have to
it,
try that.
yeah, instead of espresso, they call it cafezino. It's a small coffee, same as espresso, but they just do it a little different. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice to know about you. Tim, thanks so much for sharing with us today. For anyone who is thinking of moving into the South New Jersey area, I know Tim and his team would be a wonderful resource for you. Of course, Tim, your website is there, timbelkorealestate.com. We'll also include into the podcast information on YouTube your phone number, your email, and any other information that's pertinent. And thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much. You too. Thank you everyone for watching and listening.
A pleasure. Thanks.
All
Bye.
right. Bye bye.